Hi everyone, it's Linda from Linda Z's in Arlington Heights and my camera person, Debbie.
Hello.
We are so happy to be here. I want to tell you about some of the answers that people have asked me in wonderful, wonderful comments. I really want to thank you. That has been just fabulous. A lot of you have asked, what can I do? I don't have any elastic. Well, there are other things you can do. I hope you know that. You can take your fabric and you can do bias strips. You can take twill tape. I know we do have that in stock. And we did just get some new elastic in. And I'll show you what to do with this elastic when I get to the technique part. But I really want to thank you. This has been fabulous. I think that you know by now that CDC has asked everyone to wear these masks, even when you go out to the grocery store and everything. And why not have a pretty one that you have done some good fabric?
Oh, pretty 2 or 3, you mean?
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, because you do want to sanitize them in between.
Yes.
So we are trying to help you in every way that we can, giving you new ideas, which are, I think, really fun. But let's start today with a recipe. Okay?
Yes, so we got a recipe from who?
From Caroline.
Caroline. Shout out to Caroline.
Yep.
Okay, so it's called, here it is. Drum roll, please.
Da-da-da-da.
It's called Ants on the Toilet Seat.
I know.
Caroline has been doing this for years and years apparently, but I can hardly wait to get a hold of one of those after this video. So we have apples and we have peanut butter and we have raisins, looks like. I mean ants.
So they're very healthy. They really are.
Yeah,
you're going to enjoy it. And we will have the recipe up there for you. I hope you're trying some of these. They're kind of fun. We'll have something really good tomorrow, I heard.
Okay.
Now, the next thing that we want to show you is the quilt of the day.
Okay.
And this is Tula Pink's new quilt. Well, I guess she's had it for a while.
Right. This used to be her a collection of her basics, the true colors, and it's called Sedimental Quilt. And sorry, I have to get all the way down there. Woo! It's like a very pretty quilt, and we have a lot of these kits left over, and so that's her original solid. And what's what she calls her solids. That's if you know Tula Pink, you know that's her solids. So Sedimental Quilt, that's our label. And that was probably Mom who made that one.
I did. So anyway, I think you'll enjoy it. It's really a fun one. Easy, right, Debbie?
Oh, super easy. Oh, yeah. We've had a lot of people do this in different collections. You can do it in all different types of fabrics. As long as you have a little bit of each fabric in a collection. This one is like a rainbow. It's so pretty.
Okay.
Very pretty.
So now what we want to do today is show you a couple of little techniques that are really going to be fun. But before I start that, this is the by Annie elastic. I know many of you have been using it for your purses, and you still can do that. But here's a real economical way to use it. You see what I'm doing right down the center? Can you get that close? See how I'm cutting that? This is only about 6 inches.
6.5, I thought it was.
I like mine a little smaller, so it depends on, you can have your own 6.5, 7. I wouldn't get much, longer than that. But you see, now you've got a...
And that's like, this is what that was on this mask there.
Right.
See, so that's how
and
wide
it might ravel a little bit, but it's fine. It will work very, very well. If you have your own elastic at home, see, I just ripped off some of those, and it'll be just fine. Mm-hmm. So this gives you a little bit of an idea. It doesn't matter what color.
And we did get some more of those in, didn't we?
Yes, we did, which is really cool. Now, let's go to the fun thing of the day. The technique is blind hems. As I said, we are going to do today a technique that is going to show you how to do blind hems, which is any kind of hemming on a pair of jeans, although a lot of times I'll do a straight stitch around there, pair of wool pants, Debbie skirts, any kind of a thing that would really work well for where you don't have to hand hem it. So if you see what I'm doing here, this is the Tula, this is the Bernina, they call it the 770. It has the wonderful titanium arm that I just love. It's got the plastic on it, so it's still a little hard to
And what foot are we using here?
I am using the number 5 foot, which is a blind hem foot. And look, I can take this off with one hand, and you see the little curved piece underneath? Mm-hmm. And that's the technique. That's the thing that's going to really make that little zigzag is going to go right across this little tiny hook there. And that's where it'll catch your fabric. Now, if you can see, again, there's a little thing, and I just put my foot right up, and with my index finger, I just immediately pull it down and it's ready to go. So let me show you something that is really helpful when you're doing blind hams. This is something called the Big Book of Feet. Now it has been put out by Bernina, but it could be used for any brand of sewing machine, because what is so great about it, it's showing that the blind stitch foot is this little hook, and a lot of brands have that. It's showing you the back. And I love this part because it shows exactly how to fold the fabric. And that's the key when you're doing a blind hem foot. You can see the picture here, and there's a lot of explanation on it. But I'll show you what I'm doing. I have a piece of wool felt, which I think is really beautiful. A lot of times we do coats and things out of that, which are nice. But what I did first is I took a pair of pinking shears, and I just pinked off the edge. Now, if I were doing this with a woven fabric, I would do a zigzag over the edge, or one of the wonderful stretch stitch edges that would cover it. You could even put a piece of lace on there, which would look very nice too. And then, of course, you're going to take your ruler and you're going to measure up 1 inch to 1.5 inches, depending on how how long you and how wide you want your hem. Then this is the key. You see, this is the inside. This is the right side. Now, on the wrong side, I'm going to fold this right back to the right side. I'll do that again. You see, this is the wrong side. This is your right side. So let's go to the right side, the wrong side. I have the pins facing up to the wrong side, and I'm just going to fold it back. See, I'm going to take that and just fold it back to the right side. And then I'm going to take my little clips. I'll put one there and one here, and I'm going to sew right along that little ledge where you see the scallop. It's actually going to stitch on that. So let's take it over to the sewing machine. And while I'm getting set up here, you can see one of the things that I have on this machine is the Metrosene thread. Now, the 100 weight thread is the best when you're doing a design, or when you're doing a technique like this. You could actually use the different weight, but this really, really works the best. It's 100 weight polyester.
Specific stitch on your machine?
Well, I'm going to show you that with my trusty little pen, which I had here. And
it's right over here, sorry.
Okay, good. That's my assistant
there you
here.
go.
Thank you. And you remember this little pen that has it's off now because I haven't been working with it, but I can touch the little button, and now it's on. And I'm going to touch stitch number 9. If you look at it up close, you see it just kind of zigzag. It goes straight stitch, zigzag, straight stitch. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put my foot down, and I'm going to go ahead and just stitch along the edge. And that little, and maybe I'll go real slow here so you can see it. Do you see how it just went over? It's a little hard to see it on this because this is a colored, I'm doing it in the same color because I really don't want the stitch to show on the other side on this. But I'll show you a color of fabric that I did in a different color so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm done. I can go ahead and cut my stitch. My foot will raise, bring it out, and I have a perfect blind hem. And look at the back. Take those pins out.
Looking good.
Now, I'm going to show you here, this was a piece of green because I wanted to show you the difference. This was done on the same way, on a different color. I would never use orange or red on green. But you see, again, I don't know if you can see it real close. You can see how it was caught on just the little zigzag is what is catching every single one. And when you turn it this way, turn it over, and you can see there are absolutely no threads. Now, of course, if you want to show those little thread picks, because that on organdy or on a real fine fabric, many times you'd want that to show because that looks like a hand-picked hem. But on this particular type of fabric, we wouldn't want to do that. So now what I would do, I would take this over to the ironing board, and I would press this first very carefully, not over the whole iron, just through the crease here on the wrong side, and turn it over. And of course, this wonderful
Laura Star iron
is just phenomenal for that. Now, I have the Deluxe. It is it's called the Pulse, and it has You can see
It has a boiler built in.
Yeah, it's got all the, plus it has the hose. But one of the reasons that this is really so key is that when you're pressing and you're doing some of these pieces, what it's doing is as it presses, that steam comes through. It's not only pressing or ironing, but it's also sanitizing. It's getting rid of germs, which to me, in this kind
The
of
Laura Star
environment,
does that, doesn't it?
right.
Yep.
That's one of the best things. And Debbie, you could show them if you would the lift. Now I know you will have one of these,
I do.
and you love it. And I know it's a really really cool one. But see how it has the same iron. It's got the hose.
It's got a boiler.
Yep.
It just doesn't come attached to a board, so you have to use your own ironing board on this one, which is fine.
And could we maybe in one of these videos do an actual demonstration, because you really know this one
Certainly.
very well? Okay,
Yep.
so we'll do that in the future. So let me come back and show you a couple of things that I used with this hem that I think is really important for you to see. First of all, like I said, it was the Big Book of Feet. Oops, can you get that?
Yep.
Okay. Then these are techniques. Now, I use something else that I think is wonderful. I also love, this is a 0 foot. It's a zigzag foot, and it's real solid. It doesn't come with most machines. Usually it comes with a 1 foot. But if you look at the firm part of the foot on the back, it will really clamp together, and it holds your fabric very well. And I find lots of techniques for using that 0 foot. I'm sure other machines have it too. However, these feet, if you look at them, they've been hand polished by Bernina. They're
Good looking Swiss men.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. So,
Oh, women too can polish.
now,
Yes.
now here's another little technique that I want to show you. And you know, the biggest thing that will help you with sewing, especially in any stressful time, is get yourself organized. Now I'm saying that because I'm trying real hard, but I've always done this type of thing. This is one of these little caddies that Bernina has the largest bobbins of any machine out there, and you can see what I've done here. I don't know if you can get in there, but I've taken a marker and I put on this because it's hard to remember what thread you have in your bobbins. Anybody ever have that kind of issue?
Oh, no.
And you can see on here, you see I've done 100 weight sewing, so I know this is for my quilting and this is for my sewing.
Very good.
And if you have a traditional type of bobbin, we have those too for any machine. And I have quite a few machines, so I usually mark down what machine I have on this bobbin holder. The other thing, did you notice what needle?
Oh, yes, let's close up here.
Okay.
Bernina needles.
If
made
you
to
are
create.
a Bernina owner, use Bernina needles if you can get them. We do carry them, but I know that other needles, of course, will fit and they work very well. But if I just like to have, I know I love my product, and when the company has a specific item for that machine, then I try to use it. However, let me tell you this. The number one key you're going to learn today, I hope.
How often do you change the needle?
Exactly.
I
Now
knew
let
it.
them answer. Okay, you're right. 4 to 6 hours.
Every 4 to 6 hours, or if you hear it going pop, pop, pop,
yeah,
pop.
you can hear it. You can sometimes hear that click in there. You know, right away somehow you've met metal on metal, and get rid of it. In the future, we will have Tom, who is our service technician. He's our manager of all these technicians, and they're so phenomenal, you guys. I can't even tell you how wonderful they have been. They're servicing dry cleaners and all kinds of things right now for you. So we'll have him come on and do a little.
That would be
Wouldn't that be a great service
Uncle
clinic
Tom.
for you? Okay. All right. I think I covered. Oh no, Metrosene thread. I'll talk to you about that.
And then we're going to go to Mary.
Yes,
who's going to
Mary's
give us
got-
a demonstration.
Because not everybody has these great, big, beautiful machines. So Mary's going to show you an entry-level machine in the Bernina line, because we were doing Bernina today, that we thought would really be good for you. But I want to explain about the size of the thread. This is the thread I always buy in the major, whatever colors they have, I buy it in here, because you're going to save more on this.
This is the Metrosene 100 weight?
That's 100
for sewing.
For sewing, correct. It's not Aurifil, it's not for quilting. It is for sewing seams, for repair, whatever. The next weight is this one, and it comes in about, probably twice the amount of colors that the big one comes in. Then this little guy, which I think is $2 and some, This is what I use all the time when I am matching a color. So there's quite a few, lots of colors. This is for just matching, so you don't want to invest in a bigger spool. Hopefully that will really help you.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
What happens when the thread is all over the place and you want to tame your thread on your spool? How do you do that?
Oh, let me show you. I'm glad you asked that. I forgot to show you this. I use this all the time. I take this off.
And what is that? The Hugo's tape, right?
This is called the Hugo tape. And now, because your thread is going all over the place, and this is a smaller thread, so do you see what I'm doing? Just cutting it right down the center, or you could cut it into threes. And there you go. You've got another little, wrap it around here, and take that little plastic, and then those tangled edges will be right up there ready for you when you want to take it off.
Awesome.
Okay, so
right.
I hope we've
Yes.
covered everything for you today.
Should we introduce Mary?
Mary,
And
take
Madeline?
it away.
Take it away.
Thank you.
Bye.
So Madeline, this is the Bernina 215 Simply Red, and it's a great machine. Right now it's doing a zigzag. I'm going to do a straight stitch, but it has that Bernina quality that our sewers know and love of the stitches.
It doesn't hesitate at all. You're changing different fabrics.
There I'm layering. It has a lot of nice features in a portable machine. Watch, and I'm going to go through several layers. Watch this. This is probably about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers. And you want to see a zigzag or a straight stitch on that?
Oh, zigzag.
Okay, here we go. So at a touch of a button, I can do my zigzag. I'm going to go through all those layers, stitch off the fabric, and then onto flannel, and I did not bog down. Isn't that great?
Yeah. Does it have a needle threader?
Yes, it does. Thank you for asking.
Oh, there's a side cutter too.
There's this, yes, there is. Blink and you miss it. So there's my needle threader, very easy to use. Any other questions on this machine, Madeline?
Oh, that must be the cover. It comes with a cover.
Oh, okay, yes, thanks for asking. This comes with the Bernina soft-sided cover, because you can take this to classes or set it up in your dorm room or your kitchen table, wherever you have to sew. It's a great beginning machine, but it's also a great take-to-class machine, don't you think?
Because it's not heavy.
No, it's less than 20 pounds.
That's nice. Oh, and is that the bag of accessories?
It is the bag of accessories.
Oh.
It can store under here. And this is the slide-on tray.
Oh, that table
And
is
comes-
nice.
Yes,
Yes.
it's honeycombed for strength, and it comes with it.
That's a wonderful machine.
Call us at the store, 847-394-4590, and Madeline or I will give you details on this machine.
Have a wonderful day.
Thanks.
Bye.